So I'm going to call this meeting to order. It's 7:05. This is the October 8th meeting of the Virginia-Highland Civic Association Board of Directors. Present with us are members Ferraro, Becker, Cruz, Ryan, Kapner, Ms. Carlisle, and I. And Ms. Bird will be here late. And Mr. Wolfson, Ms. Forsler-Horn, Ms. Keenan, and Ms. Freilich are absent with notice. And the first thing on our order is actually a welcome from Father Bolton.
Well, good. Thank you very much. I'm Father John Bolton. I'm the priest in charge of this church. And as the kids at our youth camp this past weekend decided to call me Papa John, and my motif became a piece of pizza. So that's me, Father Pizza. Welcome. As always, we're delighted to have you with us. It's just one of the many ways in which we like to be able to connect with the community around us and provide you with a home, at least for that night when the library is closed. Hopefully you have a good meeting, and God bless your endeavors.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Father Bolton. We're happy to be here. We will be back here again next month.
That's
It's
right,
our
yeah.
fall home, away from home, and
Another holiday.
we're very grateful to it for that. I'm going to defer the adoption of the minutes, which we have with us, but because 3 of the 4 members we actually don't have a quorum of members who were present for that meeting last month, I'm going to wait and adopt them next month so that folks can more properly act on them. So I'd like to have a motion to adopt the agenda, which is about here. May I have that? Oh, I'm looking at it.
So moved.
Second? Without objection, it is so ordered, and we will start with our representative from the police department. Sir, you are welcome.
Good evening. I'd like to thank you for having the police up first. I am on duty, and I'm sure, as you all would wish, I'm out there earning my keep. So, but I'll be brief. I prefer my style. First of all, I'm sorry, I'm Lieutenant Neil Klotzer. I'm the evening shift commander for Zone 6. I also worked Sunday for the Streets Alive Festival out here, so if there's any questions about that, I'll entertain those. I'm not a big fan of coming up and talking about statistics because you can get them online now, and I would ask you that anytime you have a question, don't wait for the monthly meeting. By all means, give us a call, either myself during the evening shift hours or any of my other supervisors that my counterparts daytime. We'll be happy to answer any questions about any crime, anything that's happened that you're curious about, as opposed to trying to remember it for for the following month. So I don't have any statistical data to bring to you. If that's something you would like, I can always send that in an email or however you would like that. I prefer to use your precious time to open the floor to any questions or problems that you might have. If you want to moderate it, so you still
We'll just let it go here.
I was wondering if you could shed some light on the 3 robberies you had last month, 9/13, 9/19, 9/25. They all have case numbers now, and there's some talk, unofficial talk, about the folks that did the Midtown robbery that were apprehended may have been responsible for a couple of these crimes. So
Okay.
I want to know, basically, are these guys off the streets, or what's going on with that?
That'd be one I'm going to have to get back to you to give you a good, educated answer. Our CID unit does all the investigative follow-up. I'm familiar with at least 2 of the robbers that you're speaking of. The one in Drury, I assume. There's also one on Ponce Place or Ponce Terrace. And Greenwood. That's right, I do remember Greenwood. There's a few there. I'm familiar with all 3 of them. I would have to get back to you, though, as far as any updates and investigative leads and see what we know with that, because our investigative unit works entirely separate. My email for everybody here is nklotzer, Klotzer, @atlantagA.gov. And all of the staff for the police department, that's the standard format is usually first initial, last name. Of course, I'm a Klotzer, so I'm the only one with the first initial. If you're Smith, you might have a couple initials in there to discern who you are. But I'm real good at research and finding out what's going on. I'll be happy at any time. I got a lot of tricks at my disposal. I don't have a laptop with me or wireless, otherwise I could probably bring it up for you right here. But if you give me an email, I'll be happy to get back to you on whatever I can find out.
Do you have a card on you?
I don't have a card with me. I'll give you a phone number too if you want.
Yes, please.
404-617-8157.
Thank you.
It's a city cell number.
Thanks for coming. I'm sorry, John.
Yeah, were there any incidents on Streets Alive?
None reported. I think everybody was satisfied with how it went. I didn't get a lot of complaints from people who were diverted to try and get to their homes. I know it was expanded this time. We will get together with all the officers that worked in it, and we kind of do a debriefing afterwards and talk about what was good, what was bad. Our advantage was that even though it was expanded, it was somewhat the same route. When they constantly change it, it's kind of hard because we're constantly learning. You know, we can't fix our mistakes that we made previously. But our folks were pretty good about not being Nazis about someone not being able to get to their home or whatever. We did what we could to get people to their homes or businesses, whatever they needed. So, you know, we were sensitive to that. And no injuries, I think we used EMS for a small child who fell off their bike, minor injuries. That was the only thing that I could think of.
Okay. Lieutenant Consul, what's your first name for?
Neil, N-E-I-L.
Thank you very much.
So,
Well, we're glad to have you. We look forward to seeing you here again. Thanks
Okay.
for coming. And actually, we may want to put these stats up, so we may write you on that.
yeah, and if you email me, I can send them back, and then you can put them on the website or link to them or whatever you want, however you like. There's the city's doing a much better job. No, I shouldn't even say the city. The department's doing a much better job with our websites and the information that's available and things that you need. Sometimes you got to navigate a little bit to get to it, but there's a lot of info out there for you.
All right. Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. Good
Thank
luck
you.
tonight.
Have a good night.
Any other city reps here? I don't know that we do. Any other guests? Let's move on to committee reports, and we're going to just start very quickly with the organizational meeting that we held in accordance with our bylaws. Ms. Carlisle.
Okay, so we held a meeting on 9/23/12, and we elected officers out of from the board members. And I think I'm doing it in alphabetical order. So we elected Lola Carlisle, myself as vice president, Arturo Cruz Tucker as treasurer, Jenny Ferrero as secretary, and Jack White as president. We talked about committee members, so we have those elected. For budget, we have Arturo Cruz as co-chair, Jack White as co-chair, and also on that committee, Lola Carlisle and Jenny Ferrero, and Jenny will send these to invite email too. And on communications, we have John Becker, Lola Carlisle, Brian Gross, Mary Johnson. On education, Nicole Horsler-Horn, Brian Kish, Jennifer Keenan, Janet Kishkoff, David Rain, Debbie Woods. On fundraising, we have Pamela Kapner as chair. And on Summerfest, we have Pamela Patner and Ann Guy as co-chairs. We also have on that committee John Becker and Arturo Cruz Tucker. And then we have on the fundraising tour of homes a nice long list of very active volunteers. We'll hear from Angelica later, who is the chair. Angelica Taylor. We have Kate Atwood, Bill Bell, Eleanor Barano, Sally Clark, Arturo Cruz Tucker, Shannon Elsa, Gina Hecht, Diane Moodlian, Melinda Muffley, Chris Smith, Judith Stogner, Catherine Tabor, Sarah Tanaka, and Juliette White. On parks, we have John Becker, Lauren Wilkes-Freilich, and Jack White. Lauren Wilkes-Frailer is the chair. On parks, New-Highland Park, we have Pamela Patner as the chair. On planning, we have Mark Arnold, Chip Bullock, Lola Carlisle, Jenny Ferrero, Jennifer Keenan, and Jack White. On planning, also under that history and preservation, we have Lola Carlisle, Carrie Hobson, Judy Potter, Jack Wright, and Brian Gross. On safety, we have Peggy Bird, who's actually in Crete, and David Wilson, and John Wolfinger. And we also, the other item that was on the agenda was to discuss when we would submit our strategic goals and budgets that coordinate with those. And that would be, we all talked about submitting those by November 1st, so we can review them and hopefully vote on them in December. And I've received a couple of those so far. It's great. If you'd submit them to Jack and myself, we'll try to organize meetings with everyone and discuss them, make sure that because we have some new board members and we'd love to meet with you to help you. Is there anything else from that meeting that I'm missing?
You covered it.
Okay.
We're going to move on, because Pam, I know you got your note, you got to move on shortly. I'm just going to go slightly out of order with everyone's consent. Why don't you give us a quick report on Summerfest, if you will, and just very brief, and then an update on New Highland Park, please.
We've got the final numbers in for Summerfest, and we netted about 195,000 this year. 30 more than 2 years ago, which was our best ever. So it's our best ever. We had a lot more beverage sales because of the weather was so good. You know, weather can impact your beverage sales so significantly, and this year was a very good year for that. So. Probably seen the construction at New Highland Park, which is across the street from Valley. That's going well. Paul Burks